Hello and welcome to Motors for the Masses, and I'm back at Moonraker Motorcycles in Norwich. Why am I here? Well, I'm here to don my metaphorical cut and get my cruiser on this, the new MBP C1002V. So let's roll the intro and get cracking. So first of all, MBP. Who are they? Well, MBP stands for Moto Bologna Passion, a company founded by the Kiwi Motor Group in 2021 and unveiled their initial range at EICMA 2022. Their headquarters is based in Bologna, Italy, so as to draw inspiration from its surroundings. That is where the design team is, and their R&D is based in Barcelona, as well as other pockets of places around Europe. Last month, MBP acquired Morbidelli, an Italian race bike manufacturer in the 70s and 80s. And today we have their first beast of an offering, the C1002V. It's powered by a 997cc 80-degree V-twin, liquid-cooled single overhead cam 8-valve engine. Now, there does seem to be a bit of a discrepancy between the figures on MBP's website and MotoGB's website, so I shall tell you both. MotoGB states 93.8 horsepower, whereas MBP states 87.2. MotoGB states 75 pounds-foot of torque, whereas MBP states 65 pounds-foot of torque. Now that does sound quite a difference, but hopefully the ride will render that irrelevant. Now it does say on paper that it has a top speed of 123 miles an hour. Obviously it's got a 6-speed box and it is belt driven, just like a Harley is. But of course we'll only be doing 70 today. I only ever do 70, of course. And it's got a slipper clutch for those smoother gear changes. Front forks are non-adjustable, but they are big chunky things. But there is an adjustable Pro-Link monoshock in there. You get two 320mm front discs with J1 Spanish calipers, which look like they're 4-piston, and they are radially mounted. Nice. Then on the back there's a 300mm disc with a double piston caliper. And of course it has Bosch ABS. You get an 18-inch wheel both ends, cast alloy of course, with a 130 front tyre and a whopping 240 rear tyre, using Metzler Cruise Tech rubber. It is 2.38 metres long, 1.1 metres tall and 918mm wide, with a 630mm seat height. Now I am 5'10.5" with a 31.5-inch inside leg, and it's very, very comfortable for me. The position is fantastic. I love the width of the handlebars, the stretch is great, the seat is very comfortable, and these footboards, I didn't think I'd like footboards, but they are angled just so you've got good use of the brakes and good up and under of the gear lever. Very nice indeed. Can't wait to get this out on the road actually. Before we go out on the road, let's discuss looks and build quality. I think it's a stunning looking bike. Everything about it just looks really nicely made. I mean, you've got plastics of course, but they feel decently solid plastics. It's not flimsy or movable in any way. It's nice quality plastic. Even the cover on here, even though it's flimsy, it's thick plastic. It doesn't feel like it's going to break off at all. That's just a nice little feature covering the gubbins of the brake reservoir and master cylinder there. Everything feels nice and solid. It does feel really good and looks really well built. The exhaust under there is stainless steel, but you've got this nice cover over it to protect it also, even though you can see it's stainless all the way through there to these rear boxes, which are massive. I mean, look at the size of those things. Very cruiser-esque, aren't they? Switch gears seem pretty decent, nice and solid. You've got your flash on the front there, your cruise control here, which is very nice to have. Information button to show what you've got on the dash. Indicators, nice, good, positive clunk on those. Horn and hazard flashes. And then on the right-hand switch gear, you've got your cut off and your start button, your mode button down there between sport and normal, and then your BL button does the backlight. And there's a USB on here also. The fuel tank is 22 litres, so quite a sizable thing. Look at it, it's mammoth sitting on there. Love that. And it is 268 kilos dry, so you can add a few kilos to that once you've got all the fluids in. I do like this light design on the front here with those 4 spots and they slither down the middle. When you turn it on, you've got your 2 lights coming out at the top and then your DRL light. And then when you start it, there's your main beam and flash. Very nice indeed. And of course the indicators are LED also. You get a nice idea of the sound now. Rear brake, I love that. Lovely little light. And then the brake light there, thusly. Give it a little rev. It's got a nice burble, and then it's ruined by Euro 5-edness as it makes it really quiet when you rev it. However, nothing we can do about that, unfortunately. However, just going back to the camera there, standing behind it, you've got a nice pop, 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 pop. It is actually quite a nice little rumble. And just standing back to appreciate it, you've got a really nice design there. It's really sleek, very modern, really in keeping with that cruiser design. And I just love the way it looks. It's a ginormous looking machine, massive chunky back tyre, really comfortable seat. I don't know so much as a passenger how that would feel. I mean, it feels soft enough. Nice quality chunky foot pegs there. But and I do like the guard here, so you can put your foot there and the rest of your foot goes on that without touching the exhaust. I like that design, that's nice. It's just really well made, really good quality. Everything seems nice and sturdy. Even this wraparound bit for the rear number plate here, it's a big chunky, what feels like alloy bracket. Really good. I love the wheel design, that's diamond cut alloy wheels. Very nice indeed. I mean, obviously a cruiser isn't designed to have, or a cruiser of this style, it's a bit like the Yamaha VMAX, where you've got a nice seat, comfortable design, and then this little one for the passenger on the back. I don't know, small person get on that. Look at that though, that really is a lovely looking bike. Okay then, here we go. And initially, close my helmet vent just in case I get any wind noise. Well, that was smooth. Nice gear change. Now, I'm not really a cruiser type person, I'm not really a footplate type person, but it feels very comfortable. The angle of the footplates is just right. I'm not leaning my feet forward in any way, it's just sort of perfectly where I should have my foot if I'm seated in this way. I've got a nice tuck in the tank here, nice big wide tank, fairly easy to keep at speed. Visibility out of the mirrors is about 95%, a little bit of arm, but they do twist that way, so it comes in a bit or out a bit if you want it to. I've got it at its most extreme outwards. So now I've got it in normal mode, and I'll put it in sport mode in a little while, but normal mode, it seems okay. I've got a tiny little bit of snatch, I would say, as it teeters at 2,500 revs there in third gear. Not horrendous, not off-putting, but you can feel it like a tiny little bit of, I wouldn't even say lunge, it's like a little jolt Go on then. But yeah, nice so far. Good gear change, nice positive clunk, very nice clutch, good reach on the handlebars here. You definitely feel like you're on a cruiser type bike, if that makes sense. Let's hope it doesn't rain. So, third gear, up to 40 very easily. When you're ticking along, there's quite a nice popping sound from the exhaust there. Unfortunately, it's been hit by the Euro 5 bug, of course, so it's far too quiet. But there we go, nothing we can do about that. Great position on the road. I've got a massive 240 fat tyre on the back here. Cornering's not that bad, I'll show you in a minute. We go around a couple of bends. You do have to take it a little bit wider and a little bit slower than you normally would on a typical road bike, but it's not horrendous, not at all. Very easy to get used to. Bearing in mind, I've never ridden a bike that's had more than a 200 back tyre, and that was on my MV Augusta, so a very different bike indeed. So this 240 tyre is actually quite simple to navigate. Good gear change. I love that nice positive clunk, but it doesn't feel clumsy in any way. See, the tick over is quite nice, but you've got a wow, like a little pop, which is the sound of resistance in the exhaust, noise wise, and we like noise from exhausts. Well, I do, especially on a bike like this. I'm sure there'll be aftermarket exhaust for it, but if not, it doesn't really matter, because you know, nothing we can do about it. Ticks over quite nicely here at sort of 1100 revs. Tyre pressure monitors on here, so I've got 39 in the front, 43 in the rear. Yeah, petrol gauge on that side, temperature gauge on that side. Nice clear dash, nice and simple. Gear indicator in the middle, and rev counter and speedo, of course. Here we go. See, look, navigate the corner quite nicely, but you do feel it sort of resist a little bit over what you would normally find of a normal road bike, but it's not bad to get used to at all. Nice. So on the first bit of dual carriageway, I will pull away up to the national speed limit for a dual carriageway in normal mode, and then after the roundabout I'll stick it in sport mode and see how it fares. But you've got a nice movement on the road, nice and smooth, nice and fluid. I don't do cruisers, but this is lovely. Now, I say I don't do cruisers. My very first bike was a 125 Honda Shadow. No, it wasn't. My very first bike was a Honda Fizzy. My bike that wasn't a moped, technically, was a 125 Honda Shadow, and I bought that because it was a big bike that didn't look like a 125 V-twin, of course. But I don't really do big cruisers. I don't know why, because they're always so comfortable. Nice little Metro there, look, from 1993. That's it, just cut across here, we don't mind. Bear in mind you're going right, apparently. You sure about that? Wow, you shouldn't be on the road. Oh, hello. Wants to go. I can feel the chill in the wind now, which says to me that it wants to rain. It better not. Nice and comfy round this roundabout here. Yeah, negotiates it well. Just got to get used to the size of the tyre and make sure you take the corners appropriately. I do like that gear change, and those footboards are actually very welcome. I think foot pegs would feel wrong. unfortunately. I might have to do a roundabout twice because I've got people in the way and they're going to get annoying. So let's go around this roundabout completely. Takes it with ease, no dramas, all good, everybody's happy. Very easy to keep at speed, doesn't feel jerky in any way, nice and fluid, nice and smooth. Yeah, pleasant. Okay. Nice. Very capable. So at 70, it's nice and smooth. If I go over a slight bump, I don't really get jerking. I apologise if it's windy, but it is windy and I've got a headwind going on, so very comfortable seat. Balanced very nicely at this sort of speed. You feel very secure on the road. Okay, why you're coming out here I don't know, but I'm going to go in there a bit early. Alright, let's pop it in sport mode and see what it does the other side of the roundabout. Mode there, into sport. Let's see what difference that feels. Unleash all those horses. I really do like this gear change. Lovely and smooth, very simple. Oh, hello. Oh, I tell you what, I can feel the difference already. Oh, topped out of the revs there. So I felt there that it wanted more revs, but that's just me usually riding a sports bike or a sports tourer style, but it didn't. You can definitely feel in sport mode when you're cruising it's a little bit more jerky, like it not horrendous, but more so. So once you've got up to speed and you've done your speed, you want to be popping it back into normal mode, I would say. So I topped out at the rev range there. Nice balance, I don't need to put my foot down. Very nice. You stay where you are, matey. Back in normal mode. Taking the country roads very nicely. And the good thing about it is, because of the style of bike it is, you don't feel as though you want to be doing 60 miles an hour everywhere. Quite happy cruising along on this big, chunky, joyous cruiser. Even on these bumpy roads I'm not getting much issue with that back tyre, and I thought I'd be getting it sort of jolting me side to side because of the width of it, and I'm really not. The dash changed there as I went into the dark. The dash changed. Nice and smooth, relaxing, serene. When we get to the next 60 limit I'm going to pop it in a sport mode and see how it fares. So 30 mile an hour here, nice and smooth. If I put it in sport mode now at 30, you can definitely feel a little bit more like it wants to go. And as we're about to hit the 60 limit, oh, don't pull out, don't. Okay. Right, here we go. Oops, get carried away there. That gets up to speed very, very simply and very, very sharpish. And then once you're up to speed, I would pop it back into normal mode and just cruise. What a joy! I mean, I've done it, but you don't need to do it. I don't feel as though I want to be sticking it in sport mode all the time. Oh, decent brakes, pull up nice and sharp there, look. Oh, I know where I am. Around here, so you can wait. As you're coming around here, and you flashed me, thank you. This is a good test because this is a nice left-hand bend, then on a right-hand bend. I'll keep it in luxury mode, let's call it. It's a bit of a bumpy road, but it handles it very nicely indeed. Round we go, nice and smooth. It's quick enough in non-sport mode. Oh, that's very enjoyable actually. So you can feel it surge a tiny bit when you go over bumps. There's a very quick response throttle. Nice. I don't have a huge amount to say about it, simply because it is just an enjoyable ride. And when I tell you the price, you'll think, sorry, how much? Yeah, very good. Very pleasant. See, even the suspension takes the bumps very nicely. It absorbs them brilliantly. I've got no problems here. Very nice indeed. Thank you very much. Nice enjoyable country ride on a bike that seems built well. Let's have a look at this dash, shall we? Information. So we've got range, tyre pressures, which seem to have gone up as I've ridden. There's not a lot of information to discover really. There's not really a lot you need. See, I've got no problem with this massive tyre now taking corners, none at all. Oh, what an enjoyable ride this is. Okay, so that's enough from me on that. Let's get back and discover how much it is. Okay, let's have a sum up. Overall, very nice bike indeed. I love the way it's built. Really superb quality. The way everything feels, nice and sturdy, nice and secure, nice, good, tough quality. I love the riding position. Now, I didn't think I would like the footboards, but I got on with them really well, and they're angled just so for your feet, so really pleased with them. Great gear change, nice, light, easy clutch, hydraulic clutch, obviously. The switch gears, very easy to use, quite basic, but it's all you need. You have got the cruise control on here. This BL button, as I say, does the backlight, so it's not backlit like Zontis used to be, where it's all around. It's, if you turn it on, then it lights up the words or the letters you can see on each switch. Personally, I don't know why they would have a switch for it. Just leave it on all the time. Why would you turn it off? Because it doesn't work during the day, or you can't see it during the day, so it's pretty pointless anyway. Unless, of course, it's distracting for you and you don't like it. So I suppose from that point of view, I can see its purpose. Exhaust, nice, good quality sound to it. A nice, good, sturdy feel to it. I would like a louder exhaust. It ticks over nicely, but when you give it some, it just been hit by the Euro 5 bug, isn't it? So it's nice and quiet for everyone else, just not for you if you want a louder bike. Anyway, other than that, look at it. I mean, it is amazing to look at. It's huge, huge chunky back tyre. Who doesn't love a massive back tyre? Forks really substantial and they work really well. Suspension is great. Whatever you're riding over, it absorbs pretty much anything in the road really nicely, and then extra absorbance in the seat. Really good feel when you're riding it. I don't really have anything negative to say. Tiny bit, when you're sitting at sort of 20 miles an hour in these 20-mile-an-hour limits, you've got a little bit of that, more so in sport mode, but when you're riding normally, it's fine. You do have to be mindful that it does have a massive back tyre, so you're not going to pull into a corner as fast as you would on a traditional bike, shall we say, with a 180 back tyre. The 240 does need a bit of extra space or slower speed in the corners, but then it's a cruiser, isn't it? You do get a bit of heat off that engine, but only when you're stationary. Now, you are going to get that with any bike that doesn't have a fairing, and even more so with a big engine like this one has. So expect that. If you're used to riding cruisers, then it isn't going to be an issue. Once you're riding, you don't notice that at all because it's liquid cooled, you've got your fan blowing on there, you don't notice it. But obviously, when you stop, the fan kicks in and it blows all that hot air onto your legs. So you do feel it when you're stationary. Once you're riding again, you don't notice it. But again, as I say, anyone who's used to this style of bike will be used to that anyway, so it's not really that much of an issue for a cruiser rider. So, how much is it? Well, it's £9,799 on the road with a 2-year parts and labour warranty. But what are its competitors? Well, let's have a look, shall we? I would say one of its main competitors is the Honda Rebel 1100, which does ride very well, has a little less power, and personally I think is rather ugly. That starts at the same price as this, and in America they also have the Fury and the Shadow. But in here in the UK, we don't get those. Kawasaki, I suppose, has the 650 Vulcan, but that is 350cc less and a parallel twin, so no real comparison there. And the same with the Royal Enfield Shotgun. BMW R12, however, that's a 1200cc, same horsepower, more torque, but £2,000 more. And Harleys and Indians are 7,000 or so or more on top of this price. And a similar story with the Triumph Bonnie. Overall, I think it is a great looking and great riding bike, and I think anyone who's into cruisers definitely needs to at least take it for a ride and see how it compares, because I think it's fantastic, and for that price I don't think you can get much better. So it just remains me to say thank you very much to MOONRAKER Motorcycles once again in Norwich. If you want this bike, or if you're interested in this bike or any others they've got, please have a look in the link in the description below, and I will be back very soon with something else. So until next time, don't forget to like, subscribe and share this video. But until next time, please ride and drive carefully, but have fun. Bye bye.